Another episode of Sunset Sessions. Here I am talking people into doing all kinds of crazy things, including sitting in the rain on my balcony to chat with me. And she is just wild enough to do it. This is Funke.
Hello. Thanks for
being
having
here.
me. Yes.
Absolutely. So your thing is that you started this movement, we'll call it, called Fit Foodie Finds.
Yes.
First of all, just explain to us what that is.
Sure. So what I like to call, it's kind of evolved over time. So Fit Foodie Finds, I tell people that we're a recipe content website. So we kind of have like a multifaceted business, but the majority of our business happens on our website. So we publish recipes made from scratch in your own kitchen with real food. And then we have an Instagram account where we share our recipes and other like healthy living, kind of cover all topics from maternal health to mental health to food.
And when did this start? Because you guys just celebrated a big anniversary, right?
Well, we accidentally celebrated 11 last year, but it was 10. So we're re-celebrating.
No one noticed?
The 10. We noticed like 2 weeks later. But so I started in 2010. I was at the University of Minnesota. I was a junior. And this was like way before like Instagram was barely a thing. And I sort of just wanted a creative outlet to share how to be healthy in college. It was called College Foodie Finds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And was it a website only at that time, or was it, I'm trying to remember in 2010 exactly what the social media scope looked like. Was it just that?
Yeah,
or?
So it was like classic blogging. So blogging about like your day and kind of definitely like a personality behind the website. Whereas today, content, food-based websites are really just about teaching people how to make meals, and a lot of time people don't really care about the person behind them. But it was like classic blogging. So I think in 2013, like 3 years later, I got on Instagram.
Okay. So while this was going on, like after college, did you get a real job? Like what you do isn't real.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean. But did you get a job aside from this blogging?
Yes. So I worked at Anytime Fitness at their headquarters. I was like number 2 on their social team. And I knew pretty immediately, like, I don't want to work for the man. 9 to 5s, just they don't do anything for my soul. And kind of at the same time, people were starting to like quit their jobs and like run their websites full time. And I was like, how are they doing this and how can I do it?
Yeah.
And so pretty quickly, I worked for a year and a half, and then I found like 5 other part-time jobs where I was like doing social media or like doing brand photography, basically just made up my own job.
Sure.
Until I could figure out how to make Fit Foodie supplement my income.
Right. Did you know anyone else who was doing this? How did you learn how to do it?
So I guess, right, because we couldn't really Google. I mean, Google was barely a thing. Like I was on Ask Jeeves like 2 years before.
And you were like the first wave of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there were other people sharing their successes. Pinch of Yum, also based here in the Twin Cities, they kind of started sharing their income reports. And so I would religiously read those. And I just found like a core group of people trying to do what I was doing. And we just shared like, this is working, this is not, and figured it out on my own, I guess.
That is wild. Was anyone ever like, this is not a good idea, you're a fool?
I actually don't think anybody ever said that to me. I think people wondered when I quit my job at 23, like, okay, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but
right.
It was sort of like right place, right time, where as I was like transitioning my career, people started consuming their content online. And so I was like, oh, I have this platform that's like already ready to go. And I sort of was working towards something. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it. I hoped it would be something. And so I just never stopped, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, me too. Was there ever like a big break? Like what was the first moment when you're like, wow, this is working. I'm doing it and it's gonna work. Like was it one big deal or was it
honestly
kind of a slow roll?
This is gonna sound really dumb.
No.
Back when Pinterest was Pinterest, when like you could actually be on Pinterest like looking for crafts and stuff, I remember Snooki reposted one of my recipes.
Yes.
And it went like viral at the time. And I was like, Snooki knows who I am.
And what was it?
I don't know. It was like a protein ball recipe.
You're like,
So,
I made it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's epic. So how have you guys grown you have a team now of people working on
Yep.
this. So talk to me about kind of how you've grown and evolved over the past 11,
Yes.
10 years.
Yeah, so we're a team of 5 now. So we just hired on 2 more people, and so Lindley she's a partner. So Lindley and Emily are both partners in the business, and Lindley has been with me the longest for like 8 or 9 years. Basically, we met in college, and I was like, I need help, and she was like, I'll help you. And then it kind of just evolved from like, okay, I can pay you like $15 an hour to like, she's partner now, and she's our head recipe developer, so she does recipes for both of our websites. So we also have the Cheese Knees, which is
Love the name.
a niche site. It's all cheese recipes. And then Emily came on soon after. She is kind of like our brand manager, so she does all of our brand sponsorship and kind of like relations. And then just brought on Pachi and Miranda. Pachi is our in-house video team. She does it all. And then Miranda is kind of evolving our social, TikToks and video and all of that fun stuff. So.
And for those who aren't familiar with the space, I mean, I'm curious as well, how are you guys bringing in your money? Is it sponsorship deals? Is it people purchasing stuff from your site? Because I know that you have a plethora of stuff available on your site. What's kind of...
Yeah, so the majority of our income comes from the website. So we make most of our money off of ads. So we work with a third party. They fill all of the ads on our site. And so essentially the more people that visit our website, the more we make through ad revenue. So it's like, it's true passive income, because we don't do anything with those ads. We just basically let somebody else deal with it. So that's probably 80% of our revenue. And then another like 15 is sponsored content. So what people see on Instagram, it's like just a little sliver of the pie. And then affiliate, which is basically people buying through our links. And we have some really great partners that we promote, and yeah.
So interesting, because it's a whole new industry, right? That didn't exist 10 years ago, and you, like you said, you rode this wave, and we're on the first wave of it, really. What do you think has attributed to like your success and your growth? Because not everyone, especially now, can start something like that. It's really hard to grow right now.
I think that for me, it was never just about me. It was wanting to really love my work environment, to like who I worked with, to want to make a difference. And so I feel like investing in really good people from the beginning. And I think a lot of people in my position have like VAs or assistants or whatever. And I'm like a little bit different than them, because I want people to also feel job security and love what they're doing. And so I think taking the risk early on to bring on employees is a lot different than how other people run their content businesses.
What ways are you guys growing and expanding right now? Because you have the 2 sites.
Yep.
What else is going on as far as growth?
Yeah, so really it's just focusing on really great content to scale our page views. So the more people that come to us, the more we can scale off of ads. And I guess the ad industry itself it's crazy, because everyone is spending on digital. So they're taking money out of TV and out of print and all that stuff, and they're spending all their money on social. So right now we're putting a lot of time and energy into our social accounts. Because that content is very different than our website. So kind of revamping that.
Cool.
Yes.
What inspired you to start this? Were you like, I know you wanted an outlet, like a creative outlet, but were you really, really passionate about fitness, cooking, food?
I am passionate about design, I would say. And I'm interested in cooking and fitness, but like I pretty quickly realized that I loved like the design aspect of it and business in general. And so when I realized like, oh, Lindley's actually amazing at like creating recipes, and she's an incredible cook, we made that transition, and it was like, okay, that was meant to be. Like the cooking thing, I love cooking, but like she is special at like, I mean, her brain is insane.
She's a natural.
So I love the challenge of like building something from the ground up. I really love making money. I tell people that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I do. Like it's cool to be able to figure out like, we need to make more money, let's figure it out. Because we can pitch brands, we can, I don't know, we can move into products. There's a lot of things we can do. So it's sort of like a thrill when something works, you just like keep doing it, and you reap the benefits. So
Well, and that is an art in itself, because not everyone can go, okay, I need to make more money. A lot of people feel stuck, or that there's only one avenue, where what you're saying is basically there are endless avenues to create revenue. Have you guys seen your growth on social slow as of late? Because I feel like that's a general kind of theme, trend for
it. Definitely over the last like 2 years, it's just the algorithms are crazy, and that's why we're shifting towards TikToks and Reels,
right?
Because it's like that's what's getting seen, and so we didn't know how to make them, so we're finding the resources to do it.
Interesting. And you have another new venture that you are starting with your husband, right?
Yes, that just launched. It's called Little Emberco, and it is a mobile wood fire sauna, so essentially bringing wellness to your doorstep. We kind of introduced sauna into our lifestyle 2 or 3 years ago when we started climbing at the bouldering project in Minneapolis. And so like soon realized we really loved it, and there's like this crazy niche market here in Minnesota from Scandinavia of people that like bring that wellness culture into their life. And so we just launched yesterday, and the bookings are like flying in, and starting a small business, it's his first small business, and so it's like somebody wants to buy a gift card, we got to figure out like how do we give gift cards, like it's just cool to solve all of these problems.
How does that actually work then? Like, is it you book it and it comes to it literally comes to your door and you have it for an hour, or what does that look like?
So our bookings are based on the night, and so it's this beautiful wood fire sauna made out of cedar built on a trailer.
There's a sauna right now.
I know. It seats like 6 to 8 people, and so we deliver it to your driveway, and you have it for multiple nights or whatever you want. And a lot of gyms have been interested, which is cool.
Sure.
The hot, cold.
So hot right now, honestly. Yeah, well, I don't know what you call it, but I just did one the other day. Yeah, I've been thinking about jumping in the lake too the past few days.
Actually, people do it. Like, I mean, we do it at our cabin with you sauna, then you go cold, sauna, cold. It's the changing of the temperatures with your body, and so a lot of gyms are interested, and it's a cool way to expand. It makes sense with Fit Foodie, wellness in a different sense.
Yeah.
So,
do you know the actual science behind that, like the hot and cold thing? I have no idea.
I wish I did.
Okay.
I know that they've been doing it for eons.
Right. And you do feel great when it's done, but I don't know what the actual.
I think it's like a detoxification, something with the body temperature.
Just kind of a shock.
We should Google it.
Yeah, we should. No more Ask Jeeves. If you had a vision for what you want Fit Foodie to be, besides just making more money, I know that's what you want. What is like the ultimate goal, or what is like the next milestone for that?
That's a good question. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I feel like we're kind of at this point where society chooses. I mean, honestly, like social media is like choosing our path.
Yeah.
5 years ago when Lindley was like, we should make some like recipe videos, I was like, no, why would we do that?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, we should have started like 2 years before.
More.
Yeah, so it is kind of a weird thing to let somebody else choose your destiny, but it's kind of just like seeing what happens next, and grateful that we can just like ride the wave of continuing to create content, because people always eat and they're consuming online. Right. So
consuming food and content.
Yes.
Endlessly.
Like scrolling and
yeah.
Yep.
Would you ever sell your business?
Yes.
For a price?
Yeah.
Was that like what you had envisioned starting this? Like, okay, I'm going to grow this thing and then sell it? I mean, that's what a lot of obviously business owners are.
Right.
That's the ultimate goal.
It hasn't been something that I had been thinking about until the last few years, but sort of thinking about like you always need kind of an exit plan, and what does that look like?
Yep.
If I'm going to retire, when I'm going to retire. So I see myself in the industry for at least 7 more years. I think I can do it until maybe 40, so 9 years.
And it sounds like you guys have some fun on
we do
set
have fun.
Network.
Yep.
So it's tolerable. Are you someone who needs something different every day, or are you okay with like repetition and a routine?
I've never really had a routine. Well, in college I did, but then I was like, needs to be different every day. Like, let's make it spicy. I get bored easily, and I also work in like increments of like I work best in increments of like 2 to 4 hours. So it's really hard for me to just sit down and like work straight for 8 or 9 hours.
Yep.
And so I find that like I get up at 6:15, I can work till 8:30, then work out, and then
Got it.
I
You're
just
more
work harder and
efficient.
smarter. Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
That's amazing. What did you actually go to school for?
So I created my own major. It was basically 3 minors: design, Spanish, and public health.
Okay.
So
you
there
were
you go.
diversified. So design really is your passion, like you
Yes.
said. Are there any goals to do something with that or expand on that?
I think I love keeping our brand up to date, and Little Emberco was really fun to work with the designer. We're designing my house right now, and our cabin we're renovating. So design in just like all aspects of life keep me going.
And so you're working with your husband now. Has that been kind of, I mean, Fit Foodie is like your baby and
Yeah.
you're the boss. What's the experience been like working with your husband on your new venture?
Yeah, so Little Emberco is really his thing. I mean, we're obviously a team always, but his background is in actuary science and data science. But sort of, you know, when you have your own thing, or when you feel like you're making a difference, or you really love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. And so that was kind of the goal for him. And I think that's Little Emberco right now. And so I'm excited to see kind of where that scales and who he meets and who we meet. And hopefully it increases our travel because we've been stuck at home forever.
You haven't been traveling much? Just
because of
with the
COVID.
pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I feel like your schedule is flexible enough where you could
Yeah,
take a
before
trip.
we would go everywhere, but
Have you been inspired by a certain place more than anything else, travel-wise?
as of late, I am a sucker for like rocks, like the desert. I don't know, I love Utah. Utah is
Okay.
like, I could
Like-
see myself there, retiring there, and like Moab or Park City.
Yeah.
So we love skiing and hiking and all of that, and so Utah.
Utah is one of those places that is like endless adventure.
Yes.
So one of the television shows that I host is called Destination Polaris. So we're off-roading,
Yep.
riding side-by-sides, and we say we could film all 12
Uh-huh.
episodes in Utah, and they would all be different, and they would look different, and
Yep.
we'd be in different locations, but we could do it year after year because there's so much adventure. How often do you guys get to adventure then living here in Minnesota? You said that you boulder, so you rock climb indoors.
We do a lot everywhere. I feel like we do a lot in nature, so even though we live in a flat land, you know, taking advantage of all of our trails, and we have a canoe, and moving to Cedar Lake, so we'll be very close to the lakes. We do a lot on water. Just being outside, I guess, is our happy place. So Boundary Waters, all of that.
It's cool how you can have, you know, the Fit Foodie finds, I think, just, again, relating to the whole health thing, where you have a job that really allows you to, like, bring everything together. It doesn't feel far from what your passions are, and being able to do your leisure stuff as well.
Yes.
Where would you want to be 10 years from now? Do you want to be retired, or do you want to keep working?
I don't know that I'll ever retire because I love work.
Yeah.
If I'm doing something that's very meaningful, I work all the time, nonstop. I know it's not good for me, but I don't think I'll ever like fully retire. So if I wasn't working for Fit Foodie, I could see myself owning another business or
Sure.
2 or 3 or whatever.
Sure.
So
Do you think you're addicted to work?
yes.
Okay. And so is it like a constant struggle to, like, hey, I need to take care of my body, I need sleep, like, let your brain rest? Or, you know, has that been a struggle over the past years, or have you found a balance? Are you working on it?
I think it's something that I will personally always need to work on, mostly because my work is social media, which is like, people are like, oh, I'm going to just cancel my Facebook. And I'm like, cool, I can't do that.
Right.
So I think that's probably the hardest part, is like feeling that I need to show up online, where it's like, at the end of the day, like, that doesn't really matter.
But it's almost like it doesn't stop.
It doesn't. So I'm working on it, medicated, looking for another therapist. So
Do you think, I mean, where do you think social media is going to take us? Because it consumes so many of us, and it does, the pressure to create, and it doesn't stop. Like, there's never enough content, and the algorithm's always changing, and all these people are investing in social. And so like there's so much pressure. Where do you see that taking kind of society even or business?
It does make me a little nervous for just children.
Yeah.
Because I remember growing up, it's like you had to call on a home phone to see if like Sarah was home.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like all these kids have phones, and it just kind of opens up your eyes to, I'm not a parent, but I would love to be one day. So thinking about that and how social will affect like our children. So screens, I just feel like that is our future, automation, all of that.
Yeah.
So just, I guess that's why we love nature so much, because if you don't have service, it's like, sorry. So trying to incorporate that into our life as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
Trying to find that balance for other people who may be struggling to find the balance. What would you recommend?
man, I would recommend what other people recommend to me. Limit your screen time. Don't go on your phone an hour before bed.
Do you actually do that?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Meditation, need to start incorporating that.
Yeah.
When I do it, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Like when I do yoga, I'm like, why am I not doing this like every other day or incorporating it somehow daily? So it's like reassuring when I do it. So maybe it's just taking my own advice.
Right. Right. Well, and creating the habit, I feel like.
Yes.
I mean, there are similar things where you're like, wow, I feel great when I do this. I would like to do this all the time. And then you just don't make it into a habit. And so it just falls off to the wayside. Does it affect life at home, like with your husband? Like not like, because it kind of sounds like you can't, sometimes it's hard to separate from work, which for a lot of people, that's how it is.
Yep. I do a great job on the weekends, I feel like, of not being on social. However, the weekends are the time to be on social because everyone else is too.
Right.
So now that I feel like we have a team on Fit Foodie, we have a schedule. So I know like kind of what needs to get done, or ideally what would get done, what would be, things are very planned out now.
Yeah.
Which kind of takes the fun away from it a little bit, but that's helped a lot. So instead of being like, what am I going to post today? Like, what do people care about?
Right. Having a team to kind of diversify, divide, and conquer. So like, okay, you're in charge of this. I'm going to go into nature.
Yes, goodbye.
And I'll see you in 24 hours. Do you guys have any big fun events coming up? I'm sure you do a lot now for the holiday season, and that's got to be a big time for you guys.
I would say event-wise, in person has been not so much, but we just did like our big Thanksgiving shoot for Fit Foodie, and January is always really big for us. Just kind of healthy eating and cooking with real food is bonkers. So that's really fun to like have so many eyeballs on you in January.
Right. Is that kind of, because I know you guys aren't like, your thing is like, don't limit foods. Like don't limit what you're eating, but cook with real food. Is that the premise?
Yes.
So,
So I have an eating disorder past. And so lots of like restriction in my past. And so kind of taking a step back. I mean, if you look at old recipes, we'd have like keto this or vegan that. And now it's really just like, don't put a label on something, eat everything in moderation. And so that's why we're like, let's just cook from scratch with real food, which includes butter and sugar and everything in moderation. So that's kind of like where we've moved into instead of like this health food website.
I think it's super important because it's so much more realistic of a lifestyle for people to, okay, eat in moderation. I'm not telling you to eat junk food or, chips, but you're saying real food and eat it in moderation, and so much more realistic than these fad diets. And then, okay, well, I'm going out to dinner with friends. How do I manage this? Like the fads and such things. And I know they've been great for some people, but it's just not super realistic.
I do eat chips every day.
Well, there you go. What kind?
Today I had barbecue kettle.
Favorite, hands down. Yes. Oh, I eat chips. Don't get me wrong, but my go-to snack now is the peas.
Crisps. Yep, those are good.
I ate a whole bag of those yesterday.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They were delicious. I actually, so you have the cheese knees too.
Yes.
And so everything, and I'm not as familiar with this, but everything is cooking with cheese.
Yes.
Because I was going through all my books yesterday, and I have a lot of books, but I have like 2 cookbooks, and I actually have to go grab one right now because I'm going to give it to you. So hold, please.
And I'm going to take this down
All right.
because we got a break in the
This is
rain.
So funny. Now I just have to find it.
Is it a cheese book?
Maybe. But it's awesome.
Fondue.
So, like I said, I have literally 2 cookbooks. I've never looked at a recipe. And one's like stylish Thai in minutes, and the other is cooking with cheese. And
I
I'm
need
not
that
sure.
book. Can I buy it from you?
I'm giving it to you. I'm not sure if it has date or not, but you definitely, positively need this book.
That's amazing.
1966.
How did you get that?
I think I bought it at a
Antique
a
store?
garage sale. Yeah, 1966.
What a great find.
So do the math. 54, 55 years. So there you go.
Thank you so much.
Cooking with cheese.
Lindley's going to be excited about this.
The cheese knees.
Yes.
So what is the future for that site? Is that just kind of like a supplement to
So
Fit Foodie?
Yep. So the idea with that site is, let's see if we can scale it just like Fit Foodie. If we can be making the same kind of income, that's just like double the
double's
income,
nice.
Which is really great. And then I think the idea there too would be something we would sell before Fit Foodie.
Got it.
So kind of build the brand.
Yep.
There's a lot of investment firms looking to buy content websites because they make a lot of money.
Sure.
And kind of took it as a challenge. So like, let's see if we can build a brand with like a really great recipe base and see kind of what happens.
Has it been the same kind of growth pattern as Fit Foodie?
It's definitely been faster.
Really?
I mean, back in the day, it was like, I got 1,000 page views.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we get 4.5 million monthly, 4 to 5 million, which is cool. And Cheese Knees, I think, on social has grown a lot faster, and we're profitable. So all the money that we've put in, it's cool to see like, wow, in less than a year, we can be profitable. And we have sponsors. If they can't work with Fit Foodie, we're like, you want to work with Cheese Knees.
Right.
So
you have
that's
another
worked
product
out.
to offer.
Yep. So that's
So
been
cool.
really cool to see.
Will there be another food site in the near future?
Maybe. My husband might kill me.
Yeah, he's like, no more. I'm going to think of something for you. I mean, it's hard to beat the cheese knees, but I do love food, so we'll think about
Clearly.
it. Yeah. I love cheese. I eat cheese for breakfast. I'm not kidding. I eat string cheese for breakfast. Yeah, it's a problem, but excellent. So what are your personal goals now as we look into this next year? You just hit 11 years at Fit Foodie. What is this next year for you personally and work-wise?
I think personally, our big project is building our house and moving.
Yes.
And that's been a real struggle with COVID and kind of navigating like supply chain stuff. So that's like, I don't know why it's a goal, but it is. I'm like, please just finish the house.
Oh yeah, well that's huge. You need
yeah.
to be settled, and it's always in the back of your mind.
Yep. And then Fit Foodie wise, I think just we're finally settling in with 5 people, and next year, so we work out of a studio right now, we're renting, and it's a dream of mine to either buy a condo or a house or a small commercial building and renovate it for our studio. So right now we're renting an apartment, not sure how legal that is, but we are. And yeah, something a little bit more permanent that like we can put our own stamp on. It's a big undertaking, but so I think that's the goal for next year.
So reels, and a permanent place.
Yes.
For Fit Foodie and for you.
Yes.
Those are awesome. Well, where can people find more about you? I mean, where can they view your page?
So on Instagram, we're Fit Foodie Finds, fitfoodiefinds.com, and then Cheese Knees, the Cheese Knees _. Somebody owns Cheese Knees.
Oh,
we're like,
great.
they won't respond to us. And then cheeseknees.com.
Excellent. And
Little Emberco.
Little Emberco.
If you're from Minneapolis, Little Emberco, we're delivering sauna right to your doorstep.
I love
in the
that.
metro.
I'm signing up.
Actually, somebody on Big Island has contacted us.
Amazing.
My husband's like, how do we get this there?
I'll
I'm like,
help you
wait,
with
what
that.
month?
Yeah.
February. I'm like, okay, I think we can drive across the lake.
That's hilarious and amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing your story and being open and candid with us about your whole journey. We can't wait to watch it continue to grow and bring the money in.
Bring the money. Thank you
Awesome.
for having me.
Thanks. We'll catch you next time on Sunset Sessions.